So this is the table set up for the first fight of our campaign, which we're gonna start. Orcs versus the adventurers. For the orcs we have an Orcboss equipped with a helmet, a dagger, sword and a bow. Second is a BigUn equipped with a sword and dagger. So up next we have the second BigUn. He's equipped with a helmet, a dagger and a spear. Then we have the Shaman equipped with a dagger and a bow. His spell is Fulgia. Then we move on to the henchmen, the first group of 2 orcs. They are not equipped as you see, they have actually a dagger and a bow. Then up next are 2 goblins with squigpoders. Up next the 3 Squigs. And for the last group we have 2 orcs with dagger and an axe. The adventurers are led by their captain, equipped with helmet, shield, dagger, sword and pistol. The first champion equipped with dagger, sword and pistol. Second champion with dagger and spear. Then the first Youngblood is equipped with dagger and spear, and for the last Youngblood there will be a dagger and a club. For the henchmen we start with 2 Marksmen equipped with crossbows. A second squad of 2 Marksmen with bows. Everyone has a free dagger of course. Then we have the first warrior equipped with a dagger and a club. And a last lone warrior with dagger and spear. So that's it for the warbands. Let the game begin. We are going to play scenario 6, chance encounter. The orcs starting on this squad of the table and the adventurers on this one. So the table is set up, the forces are on the table. The orcs have decided to put 2 orc bowmen here. In the front there are 2 goblins with 3 Squigs. Behind them the boss with an orc boy. And here we have the shaman, 2 BigUns and another boy. So this quarter of the table is for the adventurers. Starting here with 2 marksmen with crossbows, alongside them 2 other marksmen with longbows. Beneath we have 2 Youngbloods with a champion, and just alongside them we have another champion, the captain of the warband and 2 warriors. This group of soldiers moved out of line of sight of the orcs, as did this group of soldiers. The 2 marksmen with the longbows, they moved up, getting themselves in the tower ready for next turn. The 2 crossbowmen here, they fired at the goblins, 1 missing, 1 wounding critically and killing 1 of the goblins. The shaman with his group moved up behind that building seeking cover, as did the Orcboss with the boy seeking cover behind that building. The goblin and the squig moved up to attack next turn. The 2 orcs up here with the bows attempted to shoot at the marksman. 1 was out of reach, the other one tried but failed with a 4. The adventurers move 4 of their guys into close combat with the 2 Squigs. The leader of the warband staying behind, aiming with his pistol at the 3rd Squig in the background, but failing to hit. The 2 crossbowmen up here are targeting the goblin, hitting twice, wounding once critically, but only gets him to knock down. The two crossbowmen here are aiming at the goblins in the building. They are hitting one but fail to wound, and the Youngblood here getting himself behind cover. So for the close combat, starting at the right, the spearman hits the squig but fails to wound him. The guy in yellow, he hits him twice, wounds him twice. The save for the dagger is failed, and he managed to get him stunned. Then continuing from the left, the other spearman is hitting the second squig but fails to wound. The champion hits, wounds him and gets him knocked down, and the second champion, he fails to wound the knockdown squig. The orcs in their turn moving up to get closer to the enemy. The same on this side. The shaman moving behind cover and aiming at the bowman in the tower but failing to hit. On this side, the two bowmen also aiming at the opposite bowman in the tower, hitting once and wounding and getting him stunned. Here, the third squig entering combat. So this squig begins the close combat against the spearman, hitting him, wounding him critically and stunning him. Then we continue on the other side with the champion hitting the second squig but failing to wound. The second champion puts his two attacks against the second squig, wounding him and stunning him. Then on this side, the spearman against the last squig, who was already knocked down. He wounds him and stuns him. And then finally, the yellow guy, who has two attacks, one against the first, one against the second squig, who are both stunned, and he takes them out of action. In the adventurer's turn, the spearman goes from stunned to knocked down. One warrior and the captain of the warband come to help him in combat against the squig. The other spearmen staying behind to protect. The two champions go into close combat with the BigUn. The Youngblood here is moving back to help in the next turn. Here in the tower we have our bowman, who's getting from stun to knock down, and the other bowman attempting to shoot at the Orcboss down here but failing to hit. And our two crossbowmen are attempting to shoot at the orcs in the building but also failing to hit. In the first close combat, the first champion attempts to hit the orc with his sword but misses. Then with the pistol he hits but fails to wound. The second champion fails to hit, and the orc fails to hit back. In the other close combat, the champion of the warband hits the squig once but fails to wound him. The warrior fails to hit twice, and finally the squig strikes back on the champion, hits him, wounds him and gets him knocked down. So the orcs are moving almost everything in close combat that they have. The boy is helping the BigUn in close combat here. The other BigUn is going into close combat with the captain. The Orcboss is also going into combat, as does the other boy and the goblin. The shaman tries to shoot at the knockdown guy up there, but fails to wound him. The two orcs here, one is out of reach and the other tries to shoot at the crossbowman, but failing to hit. For the first close combat between the two champions of the adventurers, the BigUn and the boy, the champion with the spear strikes first against the boy, hits him, wounds him, and gets him instantly stunned. Then the other champion strikes against the BigUn, hits him once, but fails to wound. The BigUn hits back, hits once, but the parry is failed, but he also fails to wound. For the second bigger fight, the BigUn with his spear strikes against the captain of the warband, wounding him and taking him out of action. Next up, the Orcboss. He hits the warrior in yellow once but fails to wound him. The Orc warrior fails to hit twice. Up next, the Squig also hits at the yellow warrior, hitting him, wounding him and knocking him down. Up next is the adventurer warrior with the spear, trying to hit the goblin but failing, as is the goblin in return. So for the adventurers, the Youngblood is entering combat with the BigUn. The bowman up in the tower, the first one attempts to shoot at the orcs. He hits but fails to wound. The second one is aiming at the shaman but fails to hit him. And the two warriors up here with a crossbow also attempts to shoot at the orcs behind cover there, and nothing happens. Beginning with this combat, the champion with the sword and his dagger strikes against the BigUn, hitting him twice, fails to parry, wounding him once and knocking him down. So that leaves the second champion with a knockdown and a stunned opponent, so he strikes against the knockdown and takes him out of action. In the second close combat, the BigUn with a spear strikes first, hitting but failing to wound. The Youngblood strikes back but doesn't hit the orc. So for the big melee here, the adventurous warrior with the spear starts against the orc warrior. He hits him, he wounds him critically and takes him out of action. After that, the goblin with the spear tries to hit at him but fails. After that, the Squig tries to hit the warrior with the spear but fails to wound him, as does the Orcboss. He hits once but fails to wound. After that, the spearman fails to hit the Squig, and the warrior in yellow hits the boss once, but the boss can parry. So after hefty losses, the orcs call the game. From the scenario, the adventurers only get 2 shots, as one of their heroes was taken out of action. By searching the city of Mordheim, they get another 3 shots and make a prisoner. And the leader of the warband was taken out of action, while getting immune to fear. So for the orcs, they get 4 shards from the scenario by taking out of action one of the adventurers. By seeking the city of Mordheim, they get an additional 3 shards. They find a shop where they get 6 gold and an overturned card where they get an additional 7 gold. The goblin is fine. One of the Squigs is killed, the other is fine, and the 2 Orcboys are also fine. For the orcs, 2 warriors will level up. First one is the BigUn with the spear. He's got a 6 and then a 4, which means he's got +1 attack. Second one to level up is the Shamane, which gets a 7, and he takes the ballistic skill +1. So that was it for the first battle in our campaign, the orcs versus the adventurers. Thank you for watching and see you later.